Hey, summer assignments, what's up? And today I'm gonna do a review of the self-titled debut of the one and only virtual band Gorillaz. Since Gorillaz is one of the earlier bands that I've discovered in my life, I've decided to do a review on Gorillaz albums. By the way, if you're wondering where I am when I'm uploading, I should be back at Amsterdam, Netherlands. Anyway, Gorillaz is a virtual band consisting of vocalist 2D, guitarist Noodle, bassist Murdoch, and drummer Russell, led by Damon Albarn of Blur, animated by Jamie Hewlett as well. So Damon Albarn created this virtual band as a part-time job because clearly this whole Gorillaz project isn't supposed to be some sort of grand or important idea. Mostly, we get Damon Albarn experimenting with different instrumentations, time signatures, and musical styles on the track list, so he didn't take it too seriously as well. But damn, is this a good album. This album really surprised me with its very smart and slick blend of punk rock, indie rock, electronic, hip-hop, and dark pop. The album starts off with Rehash. It has some rough, nostalgic guitars at first, and Damon Albarn singing in a very muttered voice as 2D. The chorus is extremely catchy as well. It's the money you stop. 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 And then we also get a little baroque piano session towards the end, plus the very groovy bum 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 ba bum. Overall, it's such a refreshing and engaging and groovy opener. I have to give it a 9 to a 10 out of 10. The next track is 5/4. Obviously, Damon Albarn wrote this song just because he wants to write a song in 5/4 time signature. And it's not bad. Again, we get these playful guitars and sassy vocals. My phone is shaking. Again, we get these playful guitars and sassy vocals, plus the very smooth ooh, ooh, ooh. And overall, it's still a very light-hearted and fun pop rock track. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. The third track is Tomorrow Comes Today, which is a hauntingly beautiful track. Damn, I've never thought such a light-hearted and cartoony band can create such music. Not only is this track melancholic and dark, it feels so in the moment. It feels like a deployed man who recently broke up with his girlfriend, walking alone in the city at midnight under the city lights, thinking that, well, just another day. And maybe it's one of the reasons why I empathize with this track so much. I love the cold-hearted drums at first. It has such momentum. I love the icy cold and dejected chord progressions played on the piano. 2D's vocals are so not bothered, it feels like he's helpless. And occasionally we get some bitter guitars. And that music video where 2D smiles randomly is such a great music video. 10 out of 10, no doubt. When tomorrow comes today. I pay when tomorrow comes today. I don't know how did a fly end up here. Anyway, New Genius Brother is the fourth track, which takes on a more jazzy approach, while still having the dark sound. I also like the windy descending chords. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10, because there's not much to say about this track, really. And then it's Clint Eastwood, one of the most iconic Gorillaz tracks ever. The guitars and drums on this track are also very dark, but they also have a small dash of goofiness in them, which makes this track more playful than ever. Del the Funky Homo Sapien is featured on this track, and his flow was so slow and animated and slick, and it almost perfectly pairs with 2D's singing and the instrumentals itself. I ain't happy, I'm feeling glad I got sunshine, in a bag I'm useless. Not for long the future is coming on and laughing. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine, in a bag. I'm giving Clint Eastwood a 10 out of 10. The next track is Man Research Clapper, which is kind of a different track because it is way more euphoric, dreamy, and uplifting. The falsetto vocals are way more filtered and they are kind of whimpering. We get these pulsating beats that goes around and around. But in the chorus, there's this obnoxious yeah, 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 yeah. I don't like that. So I'm kind of feeling a light 7 because the instrumentals are still pretty okay. Then it's Punk, which is Damon Albarn's attempt to create an old school punk rock track. I mean, it's not bad, but it's certainly not that special either. The very one-dimensional guitars, the occasional claps, and the snorty vocal effects do not make this track any exciting, so I'm feeling a 6 for Punk. At the midpoint of the album, it's the track Soundcheck Gravity, and oh boy, I love this track so damn much. And again, it's titled Soundcheck, so it isn't a grand song idea or anything, it's just a fun little experimental piece that is quality. First of all, we hear these dejected guitar chords entering slowly from the back, and Damon's helpless falsetto vocals, gravity. And then after his little verse, we get plumped into this entrancing sea of disc scratching, cold-blooded guitar riffs, and these very dark and chilling strings. Then as Damon Albarn sings the verse, it becomes very stripped back, as we only hear the thumping drum beats, and these strings that are so dark it can literally outdark a lot of the heavy metal instrumentals nowadays. And it just has such a strong sense of mystery and uncertainty, it's bloody amazing. Don't pull me down, don't pull me down on me. And again, every time we get into the disc scratching section of the track, it just feels like being plumped and forced into a sea, a space, and it's just so entrancing. It feels like I can't describe it, man. I'm giving Soundcheck Gravity a 9 out of 10. Then the track of Double Bass follows up, which is a muddy and rainy little instrumental track that has a murky bass, a spacey beat, and some cute futuristic sound effects. It's not that bad, to be honest. I'm giving Double Bass an 8 out of 10. And are there 2 basses on this track? Because it's double bass, Anyway, Rock the House is the next track, which is similar to Clint Eastwood, except it's way more goofy and funny, more animated and fun, less slick and dark, but way more jazzy. Tap your toes and clap your hands. The celebratory horns and the very simple drum pattern support still the funky Homo sapien with yet again an animated and fun rap performance. We also occasionally get these pianos, which reminds me of old school Windows music, or something like that. Anyway, a 9 to a 10 out of 10. To follow up, we get 19-2000, which is yet another total banger, except it takes onto a more art pop direction. We have the playful beeps and bloops, and Damon's vocals plus Noodles' very fun and childish refrain, get the cool shoe shine. The only way for a person to not like this track is when they're in a bad mood, because this track is just so childish and playful and groovy. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Then, surprisingly, we get a Latin folk track titled Latin Simone, or Pasa Contigo. And it's an ode to brotherhood with some damn poetic lyrics. And I just love how calming and strangely European this track sounds. I'm giving it a strong 8 to a 9 out of 10. Whew. The next track, Starshine, sounds even more dejected and wasted with its pinches of guitars that sounds like it's sighing from all the pain and sorrow. and we get Damon Albarn's vocals that takes the spotlight in a very beautiful way. I just wish that this track is more eventful, maybe, so I'm kind of giving it an 8 out of 10. The fly is still here, are you kidding me? The track Slow Country is pretty self-explanatory. Damon tried to make a country track in the style of Gorillaz, and it's slow. City life, call me Lotta. And as a result, we have a rather strange track that feels kind of out of place, and the verses and instrumentals are kind of weak and forgettable, so I'm not too impressed. I'm kind of feeling a 5 for Slow Country, to be honest. But the album ends off... Oh my... Okay, I'm opening my bedroom door. The album ends off strongly with M1A1, which are probably highways in UK. M1A1. But this song has this very odd sample of "Hello, is anybody there?" And it builds so much tension until it pays off with the exciting "la la 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 hey." And yeah, it's just such an exciting and solid ending to the album. I'm giving this track an 8 out of 10. So overall, the self-titled debut of Gorillaz may not be that grand or ambitious of an idea before the album is actually released, but because of all of the experimentation and collaborations on this album, plus Damon Albarn's musical genius, of course, this album ends up as being fun. The fly, where is it? This album ends up as being fun, memorable, and wild. Packed with groovy and catchy tracks that are slick blends of myriads of musical genres, this album is truly fantastic. And the whole concept and lore of the band Gorillaz are also somewhat interesting and definitely is a fresh idea for the musical industry. The worst is Slow Country and the best is Clint Eastwood. I'm giving Gorillaz' self-titled debut a strong 8 out of 10. So, have you listened to Gorillaz? From 1 to 10, how much you rate it? Like if you like it, and subscribe if you want more. And, it's been like 20 minutes since I've finished writing this script. And, I'm gonna have to write Demon Days script because I have to film it tomorrow.